What's up, y'all? Welcome back. Kind of different setting here because I'm at home and I was craving a gar, bro. No cap. And it's a little late for coffee. Go ahead. Hopefully you can hear me on this. I don't know, but I was kind of going crazy this morning in my room. Um, and really, I'm just thinking about like what I want to do with this, how I'm gonna make it work, if it's gonna work at all, how many people fail, how many people quit. And and I thought like, damn, I don't want to be one of those people. You know, I don't want to be a quitter. I don't want this to be something that I give up. Cause like all my life, bro, I've always started shit and then not been immediately good at it and then quit, you know? That was always my thing, bro. Cause I had a lot of natural talent. There wasn't a lot of shit that I had to like work at. Nothing that I wanted to do that I wasn't good at. And I think about that and I'm like, did I just pursue the things that I did because I was good at them or because I wanted to pursue that thing, you know? Like I never studied. I always got good grades. I was a straight A student, maybe a couple B's here and there, but for the most part straight A's. It was always easy for me to make friends and get girls, get jobs. Like if I showed you my professional resume right now, you're gonna be like, wow, I had like 4 internships, you know, I know all the right words to say in interviews, I always get calls back, I always get the email. Like I'm literally Israel's top goy, bro. I'm literally Israel's top goy, and there's been a lot of things that I wanted to do that I thought was cool or dope, and I just wasn't immediately good at it, so I quit. Frankly, you know, like I went through a skateboarding phase, and I couldn't ollie after a week, so I let it collect dust in my garage. And obviously, like I'm Filipino, so I had to try out the ukulele, like every other Filipino, and I learned how to play Riptide, which is like Old McDonald on a fucking piano, basically. Super easy song. And then a couple weeks, put it down. Tried like brain rot YouTube channels. I've tried AI OnlyFans. I've tried so much different shit. I've tried day trading. I've tried crypto. And now I'm trying content, you know? Now I am posting my thoughts and my opinions and my face. Something I thought I'd never do. Something I thought was cringe. you know? Because working a corporate 9 to 5 job is probably the most soul crushing thing anyone can do. Sure, you get a bi weekly paycheck, which is good. You know, you're maybe fooled by the promise of money and status, and maybe there's some big dog at your company that's making a bunch of racks. That seems like they have it all figured out. That's something just clicks for them, you know. They have a nice car, the hot wife. You know, they're liked. They're big dog, bro. They're big dog status, and you're like, damn, I want to be that guy. That's the promise. And that's a good thing to chase. That's a noble thing to chase. Genuinely, it's a good life. But maybe I gave that up too. Maybe that's something that I just quit because I was like, I'm never gonna be that guy. I'm never gonna be the big dog. But the story that I like to tell myself is that was never who I was. That I was chasing an idea, a person, a version of myself that I was never supposed to be. That I wasn't really being myself and showing up for me when I was going to work. And I hated it, you know? I was pasty. I was drinking a lot. I was lying on my floor. And I would go to work, send a couple of emails, maybe rip an Excel, do a couple cold calls, and just go on my phone and doom scroll, quite frankly. And it got to the point where it was like that one scene in the movie Soul where the guy wakes up and he's like, what the fuck am I doing? And slides all of his shit off his desk. And he's like, I'm free. That was perhaps not that dramatic. But there was a night where I was sitting in my room thinking, man, I really don't want to get up and go to work tomorrow. And then I thought, why not just don't? You know? And I didn't. And no one even called me. And there was a networking event that I was supposed to go to the night before, and I didn't go, and no one even gave a shit. No one called me. And I was like, no one really cares if I'm there. You know? The only function of a job is to make money. The only reason I'm there is to make money and perhaps make money for the company. Like, that's it. So there's really no point in sticking around. There's no point in being there if I don't want to be. And, you know, I have the means. I can afford to be broke. I can afford to struggle a little bit. I have nothing to take care of. I have no one, no responsibilities. My car's paid off. My rent is cheap. I'm debt free. And I rejected the notion that what I was doing was something that I had to do for the next 40, 50 years, you know. I rejected that. And now I'm kind of just trying to figure out who I want to be and what I want to do. You know? And maybe I'm cooked, bro. Maybe genuinely, like, I'm falling behind, and it does feel a lot of times like I'm falling behind. like everyone else my age is on the right path and doing the right things and focusing on goals that quite frankly they're on the path of achieving. But I like to think that my God is not money. I like to think that my God is not success. My God is not my career. I like to think that. But after 23 years of conditioning, of answering to my name, of waiting in line and raising my hand and being told you need money, you need a job, you need to go to school, it's hard to break out of that mindset, you know? And all the time, like I've been saying the same thing, you know? But all the time, I get comments or my friends, peers, my parents telling me, man, you need this, you need that. Like, what if I don't? What's your rock bottom? Think about that. You know, and for a lot of people, yeah, your rock bottom sucks, maybe. But for me, my rock bottom genuinely is $0 in my bank account and knocking on my mom's door with my tail tucked between my legs to see if she'll let me sleep in her basement. That's my rock bottom, man. And that's not bad, because if this fails, if I never figure out what it is that I actually want to do, then I can always just give it up. I can always sacrifice chasing my dreams for a regular job. I can always go back to corporate America after this hiatus, this sabbatical, and make up some story as to why I stopped working for a little bit, you know? It's like almost all entry-level jobs now out of college. It's like 50, 60K a year, you know? Doing some bullshit, sitting behind a desk, making cold calls or whatever. And yeah, maybe I'll be living in my mom's basement, but I'll be grinding at something, you know? That's my rock bottom. And I talked to my mom recently, and she's like, as long as you're moving forward in the right direction. And then I was like, I think I am. And she's like, really? What does that look like? What do you want? What are you trying to achieve? Where do you want to go? You know, figuratively speaking. And I said, I want to be invited at the table. And I want to create. You know, as humans, I think we're meant to create. And just getting a little spiritual here, I guess. I'm a Christian, you know, and it says that we were created in God's image. And we were called upon to live lives in His likeness. And if that's the case, then we were meant to create. We were meant to put forth a good effort, you know, and make some shit. And yeah, this is really low effort. This is more of a therapy session. This is more of a digital journal. This is more for me. You know, my Instagram, Scotswa, it's just, I just post memes that I think are funny, you know? It's more personal. But then I think, man, if I had the subs, if I had the views, if I could somehow monetize this in some way, then that would be fantastic. Then I wouldn't have to figure out, I wouldn't have to struggle. And I saw this video from, I think, a channel called Lo-Fi Cinema that kind of analyzes movies and the creative process. And there was a video the guy made, and basically with a bunch of directors at some round table, and they were arguing whether or not they make movies for them or for the audience, you know. And Tarantino, you know, director of Kill Bill, Pulp Fiction, Inglourious Bastards, like, you know, classics. He said in an interview that he makes shit for himself, and then we, the audience, is just invited to view his art. And I forgot the guy. I think he's like some Canadian dude. Wrote like Wall-E and a bunch of other Pixar films, Brave. He's like, you know, the way I view art is I'm making it for the audience. You know? It's like giving someone a present, almost. But he's like, I kind of entice the audience and steer them to let them, one, decide what they like, but also kind of show them and tell them what they like and deliver it to them. So on one hand, as a creator, as a successful creator, you can make something for yourself, for the art itself, or you can make it for the audience. And I haven't decided whether or not I want to do that for myself or the audience yet. And yeah, right now, I got 65 subs. I get 10 views a vid. I got 100 followers on Instagram. I got no followers or subs on Substack. Like, I'm literally just shouting into the void. And I'd like to say that I'm doing it for me, because maybe that's a cop-out. Maybe I'm pumping shit out, saying it's for me, because when I get no views, I can just be like, it's my journal. You know, I wasn't intending for anyone to see it. It's like therapeutic, and to a degree, it is. You know, it is therapeutic, and I'm saying my unfiltered truth and opinions. But on the other hand, it's like I want the views, the followers, the money, the fame, like. I'm chasing the very ideas that I am shackled by, that I am trying to break and rewire my brain and my thought process into thinking that I don't need that stuff, that I don't need money, that I don't need views, that I don't need followers, that I don't need social media, that I don't need a job. You know? But it's two sides of the same coin, man. Because yeah, I'm trying to break that mold, I'm trying to break out of that conditioning, but at the same time, I'm chasing those standard objective metrics of success. And I haven't decided which one I favor more. But I am tempted to detach from the world, you know, log off, leave, spend all my money and live on nothing, or be like undercover boss and do the grunt work, and work on a farm, be a ranch hand, or travel minimalistly, you know, if that's a word. But then on the other hand, it's like I'm also tempted to pursue and chase these ideas. And I have a lot of momentum, you know. I'm slowly building momentum. You know, I got multiple videos now with over 200K. I'm gaining new followers every day. I'm getting more articulate, more confidence. I'm pumping out not only my opinions, but like my writing. And I don't know. I think to answer my mom's question, I'm moving forward in the right direction, but I see a fork in the road approaching that is like detach or pursue. And it's like, do I want to pursue life, or pursue success, you know? But maybe there's both. Maybe I can pursue this social media stuff and put, pumping out some art, and then reach a point where I can have the means to go adventure and travel and then do that. But then I think, like, why not do it now? You know? Like, why do we work? So we can travel, so we can have fun, so we can support our families, so we can live the lifestyle we want to live. But why can't you just cut out the middleman and go do that anyways? It's like, what am I doing this for? You know? What am I fucking doing this shit for? And I don't know. It's like, am I posting online as a digital journal, or to get followers and views and likes? I don't know, man. But I feel like every day the call of the wild, the call towards adventure is growing. It's getting stronger. You know, I want to go pack a backpack and just get a one-way ticket to like the Philippines or Prague and just experience something. But then I think that could just be me wanting to run away and not want to face my reality. So, I don't have the answers. Not yet. But I do know that this morning I was going crazy in my room. And then I got up and started walking. And that fixed my mood. I'm sitting here and I'm going to enjoy the rest of the cigar with my cat at my side on my balcony, unemployed, on a Wednesday morning. See you next time.